Today on Hands on Photography. Photography, privacy. Do they go hand in hand? Should they? Let's talk about that. Y'all stay tuned.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Listeners of this program get an ad-free version if they're members of Club TWiT. $7 a month gives you ad-free versions of all of our shows, plus membership in the Club TWiT Discord, a great clubhouse for TWiT listeners. And finally, the TWiT Plus feed with shows like Stacy's Book Club, The Untitled Linux Show, The Giz Fizz, and more. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks for your support.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm Pruitt. This is Hands on Photography. Hope y'all doing well. I'm unbelievable, as always. Today, I want to dive into some headlines, if you will, because just sitting around here at my desk reading some photography-related news, like I usually do. And these particular stories, they struck a curve with me. Not a curve, struck a nerve with me. I'm thinking about the curves tool because I just finished editing. Anyway, that's out of the way. I was reading these couple stories on petapixel.com. So shout out to them for continuing to do great work in the photography news space. So let's go ahead and hop on over into these stories. And the first one is, wow, so fascinating. The headline is Netflix sued for unauthorized privacy invading drone shot it used in an ad. Pretty bold statements. Now the next one says, Nick Lachey ordered to attend anger management after accosting photographer. Ooh, pretty strong headlines here. And I saw those two headlines, and they, they're not, within the same couple of days or anything like that, but it just sort of stood out to me. It's like, there's a theme here. And for me, that theme is privacy. Yeah, photography and privacy. Do they exist? Should they coexist or what have you? It's, I think we as photographers, we tend to forget about privacy when it comes to going out there with our cameras and pointing and shooting and things like that. But the thing is, we have rights as a photographer, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But let me first dive back into this Netflix story. All right, so again, they are being sued for a drone shot that is used in an ad for a show called Buying Beverly Hills. And it's based here in, of course, in California. Now, that's a key right there. It's based here in California. The people suing Netflix, I believe they pronounced the name Dino family. They are suing, stating that, you know what, you took a picture of our property and you had to use a drone. You had to use a drone to get this picture of our property, and we didn't authorize that. Okay, so you folks remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about drone photography and drone video. And I was talking about the Autel Nano Plus, actually. And people had asked me about getting started with drone photography and drone video, and I didn't necessarily want to push it because nowadays it's pretty daggum hard to find somewhere to shoot legally with the drone. And unless this is your bread and butter, if you will, as a business, you got all the proper certifications and you're used to going up and getting the proper permits and things like that, have at it. Other than that, which most of you listening to this show and watching the show, that's not you. I hardly ever recommend a drone for you. But yeah, let's keep that in mind. So they said, you know what, you got to have a drone to be able to get this particular image. And I get where they're coming from, but it makes me wonder, okay, did Netflix get in touch with the city to get the permit to shoot this particular area? That's the first thing. The second thing, which is probably should have been the first thing, was did Netflix even reach out to the property owners to let them know this was going on? Because it is their property, right? This isn't a public space. It's their property. And I don't know. I don't have those facts. Those facts weren't mentioned here in Petapixel. But then Petapixel also goes on within the same story. He said that there was a similar incident regarding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They filed a lawsuit against photo agency X17 in LA, claiming that drones were, quote, used to take pictures of their young son outside of their home. And it continues on. Harry and Meghan said that the images were an invasion of privacy laws in California. Photo agency X17 later apologized to the couple and agreed to pay a portion of their legal fees. And the quote continues, every individual and family member in California is guaranteed by law the right to privacy in their home, the couple's lawyer said at the time. Quote, no drones, helicopters, or telephoto lenses can take that right away. Interesting. Again, that's the state of California. Now, let's pop on over to this other story. Nick Lachey is ordered to attend anger management classes because he accosted a photographer. All right. So with this story, he out and about, and Paparazzi, the photographer, was out getting paparazzi shots. That's still popular. That still happens day to day because people will pay for those photographs. She's the photographer in a public space. The subjects at hand, Nick Lachey, out in a public space. Legally, photographer has every right to take that photograph and profit off of it if she wants to. Every right, right? Yeah. So does Nick Lachey know that? He probably does not. He probably does not even care. Why would he? Okay, but he should not have attacked the photographer for this. I get that Nick was like, look, this is private. Please leave me be. I don't really want cameras around me. But, I get that. Okay. But again, you're in a public space. Photographer didn't do anything wrong here. Just taking photographs, doing what they do in a public space. So then it comes the human side of things. All right. I've spoken about this before when talking to street photographers. For me, in my own personal experience, if I'm out and about shooting street photography, I'm very, very, very selective on what I shoot and who I shoot from a photographic standpoint. I tend to not shoot children when I'm out there with my camera. Something doesn't feel right about it. I totally have the legal right to do so, but something doesn't feel right about it. That's just me. So a lot of times if I'm shooting images of children, 9 times out of 10, like 9.99999 times out of 10, their faces are obscured. You'll hardly ever see pictures of children from me unless I have consent. It's just something that just doesn't feel right. In a public space, yeah, I still can do that, but it just doesn't feel right. So in an instance like this here with Nick Lachey and the paparazzi photographer, Jody Santos, if she wanted to be the quote unquote better human, she could have honored Lachey's request to say, you know what, I don't want you taking my picture. And she could have been like, okay, fine, and not taking it. And that's totally fine. Okay. But it's also totally fine that she took the photograph. Okay. I wish people would understand that the photographer is not in the wrong in this instance. Okay. So for everybody listening and watching Hands on Photography, please share this with all of your friends and family that want to argue against us photographers. Let them know, look, we do have rights. Public space, we can do this. All right. But again, yeah, there are going to be some exceptions, such as what we talked about in the previous story with the home. Now, there's one more thing on that. Let's go back to thinking about the private property, if you will. There is an attorney who has a very, very nice little handy guide. His name is Bert Craigs, and it talks about, your rights as a photographer. And I will put a link here in the show notes for those stories, as well as this little guide. And the general rule is one of the headings here. It says, the general rule in the United States is that anyone may take photographs of whatever they want when they are in a public place or places where they have permission to take photographs. Absent a specific legal prohibition, such as a statute or ordinance, you are legally entitled to take photographs. Examples of places that are traditionally considered public are streets, sidewalks, and public parks. Then it goes into talking about property owners. Property owners may legally prohibit photography on their premises and have no right to prohibit others from photographing their property from their locations. Now, so basically, if you're going to be on their land, they can say, hey, don't be on my land and taking photographs. They can say that. But then it continues. Whether you need permission from the property owner to take photographs while on their premises depends on the circumstances. In most places, you may reasonably assume that taking photographs is allowed and that you do not need explicit permission. However, this is a judgment call, and you should request permission when the circumstances suggest that the owner is likely to object. In any case, when a property owner tells you not to take photographs while on the premises, you are legally obligated to honor the request. Wow. So it gets a little hairy, but you still have some rights. There's more in here. There's one section that talks about permissible subjects, which is key. This one reads, despite misconceptions to the contrary, the following subjects can always be photographed lawfully from public places: accident and fire scenes, children, celebrities, bridges and other infrastructures, residential and commercial buildings, industrial facilities and public utilities, transportation facilities such as airports, Superfund sites, criminal activities, and arrest, hear that? And arrest law enforcement officers, right? All of that stuff is totally permissible, but there's a lot of nuance in this. And again, it depends on, for some things, it's going to depend on local jurisdictions, such as this California privacy laws, privacy bills that are here. So take all of that stuff into consideration. I'm going to put some links here in the show notes. Print this PDF out. It might be quite useful for you to just print it out and just keep it in your photography bag, just in case you need to present it to, say, a security guard or a law enforcement or what have you, because you do have rights. I'm not saying go out there and be confrontational, but I'm saying make sure you know your rights and protect yourself. All right, folks, if you got any questions, shoot me an email, hop@twit.tv. Again, it's hop@twit.tv. I love hearing from you and love hearing your thoughts on the show. Please continue to share the show out with all of your friends, families, and enemies, and make sure you check out all of the subscription options using whatever podcast app you enjoy using, such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube or what have you. Or you can just check out the website, twit.tv/HOP. That's twit.tv/HOP for hands-on photography. You see all the previous episodes. You see all the previous show notes, videos, and all of the extra little links and good stuff that's in there. Thank you to my man, Mr. Victor, for making me look and sound good each and every week. Thank you for all of you Club TWiT members. I appreciate y'all supporting me and supporting the show and getting ad-free content, as well as access to our Discord server and checking out the extra bonus footage that we may have each and every week. Really does mean a lot. Just $7 a month. So if you're interested in joining Club TWiT, $7 a month, twit.tv/Club TWiT. Or if you just want to support a single show, such as just supporting hands-on photography only, you can get that for just a little $3 a month plan. It's pretty dadgum cool. All right, folks, I'm going to get up out of here safely, create, and dominate, and I shall see you next time.
Hey, I know you're super busy, so I won't keep you long, but I wanted to tell you about a show here on the TWiT network called Tech News Weekly. You are a busy person, and during your week, you may want to learn about all the tech news that's fit to, well, say, not print, here on TWiT. It's Tech News Weekly. Me, Micah Sargent, my co-host, Jason Howell. We talk to and about the people making and breaking the tech news, and we love the opportunity to get to share those stories with you and let the people who wrote them or broke them share them as well. So I hope you check it out every Thursday right here on TWiT.